In the northern forest, the smell of rotting flesh is attracting hungry carnivores. Such a stench can draw in animals from miles away, small scavengers and massive predators alike. Arya has been following the scent trail for hours. Incredibly, she appears to be the only one here. A small pterosaur arrives to feed. Then quickly flies off upon noticing his company. Arya moves in. She has now been without food for upwards of a month. And this dead stegosaurus comes as a welcome aid in survival. Arya tries to move, and quickly realizes that something is not right. Her feet have become submerged in the thick mud below her. She is immobile and vulnerable. She tries to remain calm, but fails, and her cries of fear and confusion echo across the north side. On the opposite side of the island, in the southern rainforest, Ernest and Doyle have located the river they heard a few days ago. Doyle moves in first. He is plagued with a paradoxical disadvantage. He is both too young and too large. He is only a subadult and is still growing at a relatively fast rate, but he is also far larger than most adult dinosaurs. This makes his overall health and well-being especially difficult to maintain. Ernest walks off to look out for predators before drinking. This ledge makes for a good vantage point, and this is not the first time that we have been here. This small area was in fact the Tyrannosaurus nest in Season 3, when Bloodtooth's old pack dominated the south side. Those days are long gone, and a river now flows through what used to be dry dirt. The region feels different, yet much the same. The sounds of rushing water are peaceful. But Ernest and Doyle are not alone. A strange yet familiar titan moves through the vegetation. Red Sail, 60 feet and nearly 9 tons of potential danger. Anubis is close by his father's side. The two are not here to hunt. They are here to drink. Their primary fishing grounds are currently full up with post-spawning season dead salmon. A great food source, but also a good way to make drinking water horrific to consume. They have had to travel far and wide to various small streams and waterways to quench their thirst with clean water. All the animals turn their attention to the distant roar of the female Giganotosaurus. Even the Spinosaurs are alert. Red Sail and Anubis walk back into the trees from which they came. Even they would rather not come into contact with such a killer. Ernest and Doyle keep moving deeper. They're more lost and disoriented than ever now, with one of the most deadly predators on the island actively pursuing them. In the northern scrubland, a male Psittacosaurus is searching for roots and small plants to feed on. Today, the small animal's search appears not to be yielding plentiful results. This cliffside is actually the same one we've seen along the edge of the northern forest. The same one that Bloodtooth fell down in Season 1 of the series. It stretches even further north than we had seen before, all the way out to the scrubland. Junior watches the Psittacosaurus from afar. It's a small target, unfortunately something the Tyrannosaur is now used to. Nonetheless, Junior and Charon still prefer hunting in this region for its lack of competitors. The Psittacosaurus has been chased into the jaws of Charon, but she doesn't even try to go after it. It appears that another mental episode is taking hold of her. Just like that, she's snapped back, seemingly normal again. With an erratically behaving mate and a single egg in his care, Junior's life is only getting harder and more unfamiliar. It's hard to say what exactly is wrong with Charon, and it's safe to say that Junior is just as confused as we are. Back in the south, in the dark woodland, the Styracosaurs are lost. Not just turned around, not just disoriented, but completely without a clue as to where they are. The dark woodland is a bigger place than it first appears to be. Uno is especially struggling. His size and weight are beginning to exhaust him. He can still keep moving for now, but he needs to rest frequently. Strack is the only member of his family that has been in this place before, but even he is struggling to make sense of his surroundings. The male Ceratosaurus has performed a bluff charge, but his attempt at scattering the pair of Styracosaurs has failed. And Strack is doing his best to defend himself and his sister. Maggie begins moving toward the sounds of the fight, hoping to help. But Uno warns of approaching danger. The bite on Maggie's neck is far from fatal, but it's still painful. The herd is now weaker than they were before, and the Ceratosaurs have evidently chosen a specific target. The male Ceratosaurus ran in for one last disabling bite before leaving. The herd has now been significantly slowed down, as Maggie now walks with a mild limp. A limp that will probably only get worse as time goes on. A few hours later, and the sun is going down over the southern rainforest. As darkness creeps closer, Doyle and Ernest are trying to find somewhere to sleep. The two are still on edge. They have been hearing the calls of the Giganotosaurus periodically for hours now. At times, its roars and cries appear to be coming from multiple directions. Perhaps just a strange acoustic illusion. Ernest stops and stares at something in the distance. Walking along a tall ridge that crests above the forest around it is the great beast herself. The Titanic hunter's intentions remain unknown, and Doyle and Ernest have no choice but to just keep walking. With the sun gone, the shadows of the northern forest are more intimidating than ever. Arya has been running on pure adrenaline all day. It's some miracle she hasn't had to deal with any large carnivores yet. The only positive of her situation is that she's been able to keep eating and rebuilding strength. But even that comes with a catch. Most of the carcass is spoiled. Out in the darkness, something is lurking. An attacking Acrocanthosaurus makes a slow but aggressive approach. The massive predator appears to be backing off. The Acrocanthosaurus has unwittingly pushed Arya out of the mud and sunk into it himself. A slow and ironic death awaits him, and Arya is victorious. For now, at least.